The girl was escorted to a house. It's the gangster's hostel. She was terrified, but the guards forced her to climb the stairs. The guards threatened the girl. "Do you want me to kill your sister?" The girl cries and changes her heels. The guard then knocked on the door. Out of the room comes a fat pig. He's very pleased to see the girl. The deal was done for a mere $60. The girl walks into the room scared. She couldn't believe it. A trip to her dream had led her to the abyss. She was sick to her stomach at the sight of this fat, disgusting man. Her only thought was to run away. The girl committed suicide to preserve her innocence. The guards had no choice but to run away in front of everyone. The police were quick to arrive. Policewoman Kate estimated her age to be 14, 15 or younger based on her appearance. She had a Russian tattoo on her neck. This is the third Eastern European girl to commit suicide this week. These are not professional prostitutes. They were trafficked into the United States. Women are the primary targets of human trafficking. Because women are more trusting and easier for traffickers. Women are more trusting and easier to control. Most importantly, women generate more revenue than men. They can make a lot of money by providing special services. And once they've been squeezed, their organs can be sold. In Kiev, Ukraine, known as the womb of Europe, 16-year-old Nadia has always dreamed of modeling. Now the opportunity has arisen. An American modeling agency has organized a major recruitment drive. Nadia didn't want to miss out on her dream, so she grabbed her best friend and went to the recruitment site. There was a huge turnout of girls, professional agents, high-end camera equipment and a well-decorated venue. It all seemed so normal. The owner, Jovic, was the first to appear. He has more than 200 models. Some of them are the idols of the girls. Jovic seduced the girls by telling them that internationally renowned models travel the world. They'll earn a lot of money. Now they have the chance. The interview started. The girls whose names are called go up one by one. The boss is watching each girl on the monitor. This time the payoff looks like it's going to be big. It's Nadia's turn. With her youthful face, she was rightly recognized by the boss. At the end of the interview, the chosen ones were left alone. Letitia saw off her unsuccessful girlfriends. Then she went to her manager. She seemed to have something to say. She said she was only 16. She said she didn't have a passport. The agent said she should have told them about it beforehand. But Nadia said she'd do anything. The agent agreed, pretending to be impatient. Said he needed a little money to make things right. Then he said he'd find a way for Nadia. Nadia thanked the agent very much. The agent promised to get her a passport. Nadia was overjoyed. She wiped off all her makeup before going home. Because her father hated her makeup. The father was a traditional man. He thought it was important for his daughter to study at her age. But apparently Nadia didn't think so. She hated studying and she hated being poor. She wanted to earn a decent living. Nadia even said that scrubbing floors in America was better than staying at home. But her father tried to stop her. He said Nadia didn't know what it was like to live abroad. Nadia found his teachings hard to understand. She didn't tell her father that she was going abroad to become a model. The next morning, while her father was still asleep, she packed her bag and set off on her dream trip. Little did Nadia know that this so-called dream was an elaborate nightmare. From the plane to America, Nadia and the others were put in a car. They were accompanied by a few strong men. The agent took Nadia's passport. She was so happy. It was only when the worried woman next to her whispered to Nadia that they were human traffickers. She looked incredulous. The woman's name was Helen. A few days ago, she was tricked into coming here by crooks using different methods. She's a single mum working in a bar. That day, she was given a hard time by an unreasonable customer. Luckily, a handsome guy stood up for her. He's been courting Helen for a long time. She was too emotionally scarred to say yes. But over the next few days, he'd been very attentive. The sweet talking finally caught up with Helen. So that day she left her baby with her mother and followed him to his estate abroad. Seeing this villa, I'm sure she chose the right man for the job. But then she followed him to the first floor. There's a couple of big men guarding 7 or 8 girls. The guy's attitude towards Helen changed dramatically. The owner of the villa paid him. He sold Helen for a mere $8,000. The trafficker threatened Helen. If Helen wanted to run away or kill herself, Helen would think about her daughter. As long as Helen behaved herself, Helen's daughter would be safe. When the car stopped, the girls were taken to an abandoned factory. They were lined up by a couple of strong men. Under threat of force, they were all forced to undress. The owner, Jovic, arrived soon after. He told the girls, "You dreamed of coming to New York. I brought you here, but first you have to pay me back." Jovic said that your passports, visas, tickets, Food and lodging all cost money. So far you're tens of thousands of dollars in debt. I'm sorry if anyone tries to escape. I know where your families are. Your families will be responsible for all the costs. The girls were assigned to different subordinates, and Nadia was left alone with Jovic, because she was only 16 years old. Obviously a child. Jovic wanted to help her to get acquainted with the business as soon as possible. Jovic said, "You haven't slept with a man yet." Nadia shook her head. But before teaching, a news story stopped him for a moment. The news: an 8-year-old American girl traveling in Southeast Asia had been taken off the streets and is still missing. Jovic immediately called his Southeast Asian agent to find out if he did it. He denied it, because he wanted the girl for himself. He said the girl was a child. The girl tried to stop him, but the man said that was too bad. "Because you're so cute." This is the largest red light district in Manila, Philippines. American troops occupied it during World War II. They brought the sex industry with them. To this day, it's a haven for European and American men. This fat guy mainly deals in young children, because in the Philippines, some poor people sell their children for money. The fat man's business is to bring these children to the red light district to satisfy the desires of rich perverts. The fat man saw a beautiful girl, Annie, on the street, so he sent his men to take her off the street. After all, this is a common occurrence in Southeast Asia. Annie's parents went to the police, but the local police were reluctant to do anything about it. The government needs the sex industry to boost the economy. The police turned a blind eye to the black areas. The embassy was no help. They advised Annie's parents to find a journalist who had been secretly investigating human trafficking in Southeast Asia. The reporter sent Annie's story back to the States. There was a huge public outcry. The government was forced to launch a nationwide crackdown on trafficking in women and children. A month passed. The girls were forced to take clients every day. Dozens. Even 2 dozen a day. Even so, the boss wasn't satisfied. He threatened Helen that the harder you worked, you'll see your daughter sooner. In the darkness of the basement, Nadia and Helen were in hell. Helen was afraid to run away because of her daughter, and Nadia was always looking for a chance. That day the agent took the girls to a rich man's party. While everyone was having a good time, Nadia found a way to escape from the second floor. She screamed for help, but the party was in the middle of nowhere and no one answered. Nadia ran and screamed for help. The woman behind her was chasing her. The woman pushed Nadia down and took her away. Eventually she was caught. This escape was a missed opportunity. To punish Nadia, the boss had her taken for an adult film, and today the police have locked up the den. Policewoman Kate led a team through the front of the camouflaged hairdresser's shop. They found the girls imprisoned in the basement. Helen and the other girls were rescued. Nadia was tortured in the studio. The leader of the traffickers isn't here. The police don't want to get clues from the rescued girls, but no one inside the police station is willing to talk, because all of them, like Helen, have weaknesses in the hands of their bosses. Policewoman Kate knew the girls' concerns. She decided to start with Helen. Kate reassured Helen she'll get the government to bring Helen's mother and daughter to America and provide them with protection. The next day, she received news that her daughter had boarded the plane without incident. Helen was relieved. She decided to testify against her wife. But just as Kate brought her to the police residence, a sniper was waiting to kill Helen. The only one willing to testify was assassinated by a trafficker. It made the other girls even more afraid to talk to the police. Helen's story was in the papers. Nadia's despair increased when she read the news. There was no hope of escape. She thought she'd never get out of her clutches. Nadia had thoughts of suicide, but in the end she gave up, because her father was waiting for her at home. On the other hand, in Southeast Asia, a child was infected with a contagious disease. Fatso had his men carry her out. Then he brutally snapped her neck. Annie saw it all. At the age of 8, she couldn't stop crying. That day, Annie got Fatso's mobile phone when he wasn't looking. She called her mother for help as soon as she could. Her mother was shocked to receive Annie's call. Her voice was trembling as she asked. Her best friend asked her to ask Annie where she was. Annie said she didn't know where she was, only that she was very far away. Without being able to say anything else, the fat man returned to his room. She heard her daughter being abused by an animal. The mother couldn't help but yell. The mother's voice was heard on the phone by the trafficker. The trafficker took out a mobile phone from under the pillow and hung up. The mother is still in pain. The trafficker knows the police will lock this place down by phone. So that night, he injected all the children with anesthetic, packed them in containers and shipped them abroad. The last police operation lost a bunch of girls. So because of that, he got a bunch of them from Mexico, and one of the men transporting the girls girls. Nadia's father. He's been searching for his daughter since she disappeared. He's been searching for her ever since she disappeared. Through Nadia's best friend, he learned that the girl was taken away by a modeling agency, so he went to his gangster friends, introduced him to the traffickers company. The traffickers arranged for him to transport the girl from Mexico. The journey showed him the true darkness of the world. The US police at the border have been paid by the traffickers. It's easy to get into the US without a hitch, and these beautiful Mexican girls were the ticket. The officers say nasty things to the girls. The traffickers say they'll take their pick. Then the traffickers stepped aside. Nadia's father, who was standing by, felt bad. Coming to America, the father finally found his daughter in the den. But now Nadia will be taken to a brothel. The girl was sure she wasn't hallucinating. It wasn't until her father walked in on her she realized it was real. Neither of them spoke because they couldn't reveal themselves. Otherwise both would be in danger. The meeting was brief. The guards took Nadia away. Back in the room, the TV was showing an adult film of his daughter being forced to make a film. The father was angry but could only pretend to be calm. The first thing he had to do was to get his daughter out of the house. The chance came soon enough. During a police raid, the father was caught by policewoman Kate. He asked Kate to let him go, because he wasn't a bad guy. He only joined the traffickers to save his daughter. Kate knew the man's identity and didn't arrest him. Instead, she planned to work with him on the inside, to catch the ringleader, Jovic. Every time a new girl was brought into the nest, Jovic himself would come to inspect them. To be sure, Kate decided to go deeper. She disguised herself as an abducted girl. She followed Nadia's father into the den, and this time Jovic showed up. While inspecting the girl, the cunning Jovic noticed something was wrong. Kate was clearly older. This is not the case with the women he abducted. Jovic asked Kate who she really was. While Jovic was questioning her, the SWAT team outside the door was already on the move. Kate was about to be exposed, so she had to strike first. The SWAT team was already in place when she grabbed the gun. Jovic took advantage of the confusion and tried to escape, but the guards are waiting outside the door. The clues from this operation: the fat man from Southeast Asia was found and killed by a sniper. All the children in the container were rescued, including Annie. There are people in this world who will do anything to make a profit. When the profits are high enough, they're willing to ignore the law. They've even gone so far as to kill human beings. Until now. Take Burma, for example. Human trafficking is very close to home. Their methods are many. It could be a job interview, or it could be a deceptive relationship, or it could be a trip to Southeast Asia to avoid falling into the trap. You must remember that there is no such thing as pie in the sky. Resist the temptation to pay too much to protect yourself. Finally, I hope the traffickers will all be punished appropriately.